Yesterday we had a lecture on alternative medicine from a shaman. He was just giving us like all these beautiful words and saying, bringing nursing back to compassionate care, to remember that we have to be able to assist our patients not only on the medical side but the spiritual side as well, and to remember that our career is not about how much money we're going to make. It's about getting the patient back to good health, back to a spiritual health, to be able to keep going. There was at times that I wanted to cry on the words he was saying, and I don't know why. It was amazing to witness this man saying all these beautiful words. The one thing that I do remember him saying was, you can't use all your feelings or all your thoughts against one another. You have to be able to balance them out, to be able to give care, to know that it's not one thing or the other. Your goal is to make that patient better, and to do that not just with medication, but with your own compassionate side and going from there.
So yesterday was the experience I'd been looking forward to the most, our meeting and our lecture with a shaman who's also a professor. And he spoke in Spanish, he spoke slowly, and I was able to understand most of it, and we also had a translator and interpreter. And he started out talking about the philosophy of everything being connected in life, and then he went on to explaining healing rituals, healing herbs, and we had selected in our group one person to have a spiritual blessing because we all wanted one. And then there was one space left, and the group said for him to pick, and he picked me, and I was really excited. But I also felt a little guilty that another student would want to do it, but the students were like, do it, do it. And he scanned an egg over my body, which would transfer energy and determine where I might have some problems, either physically or spiritually or emotionally. And then following that, he did a really interesting blessing where he took herbs. He stood behind me and he sort of hit me over the head and beat me over my body with the herbs. It wasn't unpleasant. It smelled beautiful, very fragrant. And then had me spit into the herbs. And what he was doing was cleansing the energy around me. And then with the spitting, it's getting rid of the energy. And all of this on Ash Wednesday. So I started the day with Mass with people of Cuenca, a lot of whom were cholos or indigenous people. And then ended it having a moment. He asked what the symbol meant, and I told him for me it was a sign of an internal spiritual cleansing that I would go on for 40 days. And I don't know if that hedged my bet with getting selected for the spiritual blessing, but it was powerful. And then he did this wonderful ceremony with all of the students and us, where we took seeds and placed them over the fire and said intentions out loud of what we wanted to do and where we wanted to go. So my intention was that I always come from a place of love, and this I think came out of this lecture. I'm so excited I'm talking fast. And it was really powerful, and we went out later with the students and they all agreed that it was just peaceful and calming and they felt like crying. Then he taught us the traditional quechua hug, which is sort of a bilateral hug to get all of the balance of both sides of your body and your heart. And it was just a lovely day, and the guy just radiated goodness.
When we said, when we were saying goodbye, we had to say goodbye with a hug. It was the most tender hug you have to give. And he would whisper something to you, each person. It was like a blessing. And you just felt amazing afterwards. And he was so, I don't know, he was grateful for us to be with him that night.